punishment for disobeying orders is to treat your superior to fried chicken. Well, those were some fantastic arcs from the Webtoon series. Hello everyone and welcome to the Animezilla, and thank you for joining me as we talk about the Untrustworthy Room, the Prey, and the Epilogue arc from the Tower of God Webtoon series. A set of arcs that were truly fantastic, as we had some great action, fantastic artwork, and some very epic plot progression and character building, as this has to be one of my favourite tests from the series thus far. However, all that being said, I think there's a structure and the dialogue and the art style that helps make me enjoy the progression of this plot and characters so much more and as much as I did. So without further ado, let's start off by talking about the character known as Lurker. This piece of trash is Lurker. He was displayed in the series in a very smart and creative way that shows him off to be a sleazy scumbag that only cared about money and making sure others paid their debts. But if you dive deeper into his character, you learn that he's just like our main protagonist, Hangnan, as a person who was full of desire and dreams of climbing the tower for a better future. However, situations and money troubles arose that caused him to have twisted views, thus giving us the character we currently have. This character did remind me somewhat of Rachel, as we see this character of Lurker getting another chance at climbing the tower. That, of course, being with the boss's son, and he does everything in order to achieve his goals, and those are his personal goals that he wishes to achieve. This means betraying those around him. Those that had faith and trust in him, he betrayed, just like Rachel did. And I thought that was some good comparison. Overall, this character was built up to be a character that we're meant to hate. And of course, we still hate him even after these arcs. But at the same time, we do have that small bit of sympathy open up for us for this character by giving us that backstory, by giving us the reason as to why he is like he is. And that, to me, sings out good storytelling. So then, Hangnan. This character is a character I really didn't think much of in my last review. I really did not like him very much. However, this arc does so much for this character towards the point where I felt like I was gaining more respect and liking the character as I kept reading each page and each chapter. My like and approval for this character just kept going up and up and up and improving, to the point where I would gladly say I do actually like this character a little bit. Well, this whole kind of dynamic with this character in this block of arcs was just fantastic, and the visuals for this character complemented it brilliantly. We have this whole situation in where Lurker is in a position that Hangnan can kill him. Yes, Hangnan can kill off the antagonist, but despite everything that has transpired between the two, he decides to vow the change within the tower to become king, change what's in the tower, and correct all the things that make people like Lurker change. He wants to make it so that it's a nice, easy environment to the point where anyone can have a chance at making their dreams come true. This character reminds me a lot of Season 1 Bam, especially when we hear the line that he states, "I wish to create a place where everyone can smile and laugh together." After all, this was Bam's dream once he started climbing the tower. Bam made loads of friends. Bam stated in Season 1 that if he had the chance, he would stay in that floor with everybody else that he was kind of having dinner with, conversing with, all of his friends. He wished he could stay in that moment in time with all of them forever because he was having a fun time. And that just rang out similarities to me, and I really did like that. But the thing I loved most about Hangnan's character from these arcs was the raw emotion being displayed from his character in the form of dialogue and art style. Whether that's hatred, desperation, happiness, or even content. This character showed lots of different emotions, and the art style that conveyed his emotions was spectacular. Plus, tricking Bam, even if it was a pure accident, I do believe it was an accident. I don't think it was on purpose, even though he plays it off to be, is no easy feat. Blam is, or Violet I should say, is very strong at the moment and quite cunning still. But nevertheless, Hangnan showed that he was a bit smart in being able to kind of pull off this switcheroo, I suppose you can call it. Nevertheless though, this was a smart piece of writing from the writer slash creator to kind of make a situation that gets other irregulars to still climb the tower. I was reading through this arc completely and this test going, how are the other competitors going to still go up? We need to have more than just Bam go up. So how are they going to get into that situation? And it caught me off guard, so that is good writing. Having Bam in the room while Hangnan was confronting Lurker was such a smart piece of writing again, as it allows the character of Bam slash Violet to experience a situation that he might once find himself in when he meets Rachel again. After all, Violet tells Love that once he finds the person he's looking for, he doesn't know how he's going to react. This opens the door as to whether or not Bam can see reason and forgive Rachel. Not saying that Rachel deserves forgiveness, but I'm just saying this opens up that avenue and that possibility that Bam could forgive Rachel for doing what she did. Unfortunately though, I don't really want that to happen. I want there to be some sort of conflict between the two, but at the same time, I'm waiting to find out how that transpires. Plus, this teaches him that not only Rachel is like this. Other people within the tower have been driven to do unspeakable things for their dreams and desires, just like Rachel did in betraying Bam. Bam trusted Rachel. Bam thought that Rachel trusted him, but instead, she just used him. This, of course, hurt Bam emotionally and physically, and yet, this lesson right here with Hangnan and Lurker is teaching Bam that people will do just like this. Bam has changed, and some people didn't like the change in the comment section when I was watching or reading the comments as well. But personally, I do like it because it links back to a conversation in season 1, and that is great. The conversation I'm indeed talking of is the one between Bam and Kun, where they're talking about progressing up the tower and Bam needing to destroy someone else's hopes of climbing so that he can proceed upwards. In this version, Violet slash Bam is doing just that. He is destroying these regulars' hopes and dreams and ambitions of climbing by basically just going up himself and being a lone wolf. This again rings and links back to that conversation, which makes me like it even more. We get this shot from Bam's memories that doesn't look too pleasant, if I'm perfectly honest with you, as it would appear that something happened between himself and the red-headed guide while he was training down at the bottom of the fishbowl glass, wine glass, they called it. Plus, her look looks super sinister, and I want to know more. So hopefully, we get an arc that depicts what happened while Bam was training. Pardon me. Seeing Bam go toe-to-toe with a ranker known as Love was great, as it kind of shows us a different perspective on how strong Bam has gotten. If Bam can go toe-to-toe or even beat a ranker, then this shows that his progress and all of his training was fruitful and had a purpose. Plus, this serves the purpose of reminding us that Bam has incredible copying techniques, as we saw in Season 1 when he copied Quince's freezing technique. Plus, he copies Love's techniques here, again reaffirming and telling us that he has those copy techniques down pat. A plethora of skills is on display from Bam, and honestly, I just loved it overall. The fight itself was beautifully drawn, plus the fight kind of progressed in a way that helped me understand Love's character more and take it a bit more seriously. Because when looking at his design and seeing what he had already in my other review, I just thought it was a bit of a joke. I still think he is. I don't really like the character very much now, but now that I understand why he had a grudge against Violet for being a Fu member, it makes a bit of sense. Basically, he's got a backstory that's a bit like Batman, where his parents were killed in front of him by one of their members. Unfortunately, he didn't put on a mask and cape and go flying through the tower and attacking people, going, "Where are the Fu members?" But, you know, would have been interesting to see, I suppose. Moving on. Speaking of people that got killed, Nia. This character was betrayed by, I just said his name, Lurker, and it was a great plot twist to the story, as I honestly did not see it coming. I was surprised and taken aback by it, honestly. And the whole backstory with his grandma was so sweet and wholesome that it did pull on my heartstrings just a little tiny bit. But did he really deserve to be killed like that? He was just a character that wanted to pay off his grandma's debt. This wasn't even a blood relation grandma. This was someone that took him in and gave him a purpose, gave him a reason to carry on living after he failed to go up the tower. He just wanted to repay her kindness and kind of make her happy, make her less stressed out, make her life easier. But unfortunately, he was ended pretty gruesomely. And don't get me wrong, I loved the way they done this because it hypes up the antagonist and gave us some excellent expressions from the good guys. This was incredible. It's just poor Nia, you know? Poor kid. And then continuing with that theme of hyping up characters, the true right arm of the devil appeared. And this panel made my jaw drop. I feel silly now for doubting this character and thinking he was lame based on his little kind of weird symbols on his back and his just overall design, because he is no threat. He might even be the guy that actually went toe-to-toe against Hats. Remember, in the last chapter, we read that the devil's right hand beat Hats. And this guy likes to keep his identity a secret because he says, "Don't ever tell anyone about this." And the guy that we all thought was the right hand of the devil was like, yeah. He was cowering in fear. Awesome. Seeing the bond form between Han and that little girl was really wholesome, as it again placed the idea that Han has a daughter within a tower, and that's why he's climbing to see her. It shows a more light-hearted side to this character as well, which I'm not opposed to. I personally quite liked it. And my personal guess as to Han's daughter being taken away, as we saw in that panel, was basically she was being taken to one of the houses that were trying to raise a candidate for being a princess. As we know, Endorsi was part of one of these houses. She had to fight different people, fight females, and earn the spot to be princess by being the last one standing. I would not be surprised if this character of Han meets Endorsi in the future, and we have that connection or kind of reaffirmation that his daughter is in fact dead because she was killed by Endorsi. That would set up a nice rivalry, or, you know, she heard rumours about a person of that name that links to that guy's daughter in a different house. Something like that would still be quite creative and I think would be a lot of fun. Seeing that creepy old lady with the multiple rings on her finger get her behind handed to her was so satisfying. I don't have to tell you how much of a creep she really was, but yes, she was unsettling and I'm glad she got what she got because she deserved it. Now, the mentioning of the name Deep Fish made me stand up for a second while I was reading this chapter, as it implies there could possibly be a connection between the superior of the 20th floor and Hung Sung Yu. There could be a connection. That line drop about our goals have been achieved, the prince is heading up, really stuck out to me, as it makes me wonder and speculate and think, who is the prince? Who are they referring to? Now this, I have 3 guesses at this moment in time. 1 literally means the prince that is that cocky rich kid that no one actually likes, you know, the boss's son. Number 2, it could be referring to Hang Nan, as he possesses that ring, and it's not quite clear as to what that means, but we know that it has to mean something later in the story. This could just be a small hint. Number 3, it could be referring to Bam / Violet himself. I love the fact that we have this dynamic where Love's character wanted to get revenge on Violet for being a Foog, but the superior was there stating, no, don't harm him. We have to be fair and just. Doesn't matter what your personal grudge is, don't touch him. And if we have this a link possibly established between this superior and Hung Sung Yu, then it does raise a few flags though. It does make it seem less likely that it's Bam. The reason being is, you would think that if that connection is true, then The superior of this floor would have the same mindset slash thought process that Hong Sung-yu possesses himself in wanting to get rid of all and any potential threats to the tower. This, of course, would include Bam yet again. But unless Hong Sung-yu's playing some massive 3D chess and is trying to get Bam up the tower so that he can take care of people like Ulrich and other irregulars that are hiding within the tower that we do not know of yet, that are more of a threat than Violet slash Bam himself at the moment, that could be a possibility. It's just there's a few more red flags than there are of green flags to go. So those are just 3 people I think it could be referring to. Again, I could be mildly off base, and you could know, from reading ahead of me. And if you do know, and it's not a massive spoiler, you can tell me that I'm wrong if you like. You don't have to tell me who it is. Just say, James, you're wrong. My bad. I'm just speculating. My brain's just leaking out all sorts of stuff, and I thought I'll pass it on. Now, is it just me? You can correct me if I'm wrong again, but doesn't Violet, which is Bam's new name, mean star? Did I read that right correctly somewhere? Or find that somewhere? I can't remember. Maybe you can clear that up. I know Bam meant like darkness or night in Korean. Does his new name mean star in Korean? That was something I thought would be pretty cool. Overall, this set of arcs was brilliant, as it makes me ask questions and it delivers on some amazing storytelling and character development. The comedy was fantastic. I loved the line about Bam slash Violet not wanting anything to do with Yon's body, paired with her reaction, so that was fantastic. The fights were creative and felt fresh and new, and that end panel showing Kun looking like a Girl Scout was super intriguing. I wonder what's up with his character. Good to see him back though. Hopefully we see the rest of the cast soon. So those are my thoughts on these chapters. Let me know all of yours down in the comment section below. And if I missed anything out, then make sure to let me know. And I'll always do a follow-up video if there is sufficient enough content to do so. Other than that though, again, let me know your thoughts on these chapters and, of course, the video in general. Give this video a like if you liked it, really helps me out. And subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. Until next time though, alligator, matane, goodbye, have a great day.